Hey everyone, it has been a couple weeks again. Sorry, I really try to wait until I have decent things to update you all on. But yeah, there are some updates today. We're going to be going over the scan results that I have from the MRI and CT scans they were able to do. And also, they did a thyroid biopsy on nodules that they had found on my thyroid, and I have those test results back too. Um, but before getting into all that, just wanted to say a few things, update you guys on where I am in Texas again at the hotel. I'm here until the 24th, where I will finally have a free place to stay, but yeah, just have to do what I can now. And with the plan, we came in about a week ago. I'm having a different friend or family member stay with me for a week at a time each over the next 7 weeks or so. It'll be a full 2 month stint out here. And that's because I'm at the point now where I am combining chemotherapy with radiation. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to get rough. They've even told me that. So, knock on wood, that things will uh, be tolerable, or I'll be able to get through it without a feeding tube. They think like 90% that I will be able to get through it without a feeding tube, but yeah, I should have sores from radiation, all that fun stuff. Um, Updates with that, I just started radiation this past Wednesday. So I've now gone through my first week out of 7 weeks of radiation, week and a day actually. Um, and yeah, I was told, I think I might have misunderstood. I was told it takes longer to hook you up than it does to, go through the minute or two radiation itself, which is true. And I guess my understanding would have been just clip you down and start pew 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 all over. But no, it actually is clip you down. I'll show a picture here of what that kind of looked like. Very tight, obviously. I've talked about this before. I've got a mouthpiece in, holding my mouth open like that. And this is, I'll usually come out with like grill marks, honestly, in the skin because it's just so tight. Um, but they do that, and then they rotate the panels around you, and they take images. That way they know that you are lined up perfectly, because a millimeter difference they will readjust. Also, the table moves slightly, so it can also readjust to as they need. So they will scan, make sure that the radiation they're about to do does not run into vital organs. Mine is actually very close to an ocular nerve behind the eyeball, and also the very front of my brain, which could control memory. The nerve in the eyeball could cause damage like a year or two later. And he said he's pushing it just to try to get everything we can. We might be discussing not pushing it so much, but we'll see. I've got a CT coming up, or actually no, I just did a CT and I've got an MRI simulation, so I think he might adjust. I'm not getting any kind of side effects now at the point. They say 2 weeks into it, I should be able to, or not be able to, yeah, be able to see the facial burns, all that. Eventually the skin might break. I've got salve and different things to put on there. But yeah, I did experience, maybe some of you guys, if you've ever had radiation experience, I think it's called Cherenkov phenomenon. Basically, when you're in, I noticed this the first time, your eyes are closed and you'll see like blue or purplish light, just kind of as the proton beams go. It's kind of like a cool effect. It's basically moving faster than the speed of light, breaking up the molecules, and so it just kind of creates that light effect. Not to be too sciencey or anything for you. So I told them after the first day I'm experiencing that, and every week I go and see the radiation oncologist. So it's great. We do checkups, see how I feel, see what's going on. So I mentioned it to him. He also showed me the plan, which is very cool. I got to see my MRI, or yeah, MRI with all the different colors of like lasers and how intense it's going in different areas, and there was a lot. So just to see, because they take it from all different angles. But looks like a very good plan, and he's really open to working with me and such. But I think because I brought that up on the optic nerve, we talked about maybe switching things around. Um, but yeah, so also I wanted to say a thank you to everyone who has donated to the GoFundMe. Um, it's been a very interesting time. Things kind of go pretty quickly. I've gotten to the point now where I am at the bottom of the barrel, and yeah, pretty much out, but all good. And I feel guilty spending money to take an Uber or eat a meal or pay a copay or a hotel, like all these things, the flights. But I also have to, play with my own internal struggle and say that's okay, that's what it's for. But to ease my own guilt with that, I also just want you guys to know, like, the hotel that I'm in right now, there's nothing free available. I'm on multiple waiting lists, but it's $100 a night plus tax, and so even 10 nights is $1,000. Put an actual number on that plus tax, and I've definitely stayed here more than 10 nights because it's usually 2 weeks at a time in my last two stints, 2 months. Right now, actually, it'll probably be a month this stint until I get into the free place October 24th through November 22nd. If all goes well to plan, November 22nd I will be going home because this is the third and fourth chemo. I'm in the middle of that right now, the third, and on top of the radiation. And then once I go home, I'll come back and I'll have 2 more sets of chemo to do. And my last day of chemotherapy, because it was delayed from the surgery issue, will be on January 2nd. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Obviously, my body will still need to kind of heal after that point, but that's a timeline for a lot of you. But yeah, I just, again, just wanted to thank you guys because with worrying about everything going on, not having to worry about money up to this point was wonderful. And I was surprised, like, I'm now making these videos for like friends and family, but also YouTubers, or YouTube people who probably just want to follow the whole thing along, and I was really surprised to see that some of them had donated too. So it's just really nice that somebody who doesn't even know you is willing to help out. So thank you for restoring my faith in humanity, and just for being kind. And sorry if I don't have time to thank everybody. It took me, I wanted to do this update like 5 days ago, but it's just taken me so long with being tired. And yeah, I'm back into the phase where I'm getting tired again. But all, so far, some good things. So to give you a heads up, or to give you the update, yes, yes, I had my 5-week, which was 6-week, MRI and CT scans. What that showed was a 50% shrinkage in the tumor. So that is wonderful. Now I am being cautiously optimistic because I've been given things before and it be taken away. So I just, want to be really careful with my optimism. I'm going to count my blessings, while I got them, obviously. But that's when they told me, it'll be 90% with this regimen for the type of tumor I had, that it would shrink some. I was expecting 10 or 20% with just the chemo alone. That would have been awesome. I'm like, I will take any movement in the right direction. But 50%, I think, when he told me, I probably couldn't really wrap my head around it. Because, yeah, like 50% just seems like a lot. But that, again, is wonderful. And if these next two, this phase that I'm in, the next 2 chemos and the 7 weeks of radiation can pretty much take care of it, if that's a possibility, then the next 2 things of chemo, rounds of chemo, will be for the microscopic cancer that can, kind of go and hide in, different parts of your system. And that's why things come back sometimes, because they're microscopic, we can't see them. But having a chemo regimen after things that we can't see, I think, is a good idea, to go ahead and take care of what we can't see, because the idea is that we would like to cure this. We would like to get through this. On top of that, and I, if there's anybody out there who has an advanced solid tumor of some type, there is a thing called Boston gene tumor portrait testing. I think it's kind of relatively newer, but they sent out for this, and they is pretty much testing like the micro environments. It really gets down to the finer details of what this mutation of cancer actually is. Personally, I have the IDH2 mutation. Now, what that means, because it's like, great, sure, but what is it practically? What that means is, with this regimen that I'm on, from what they've seen here, and again, MD Anderson has seen a lot of rare cancers. I could not be at a regular oncologist, I don't think, with my type of cancer, and they say, well, in my history, no, you don't have a history. This usually type of cancer comes maybe once in a lifetime for an oncologist. But MD Anderson has actually seen it multiple times because the rare ones all flock here. With what he has seen in the past with the IDH2 gene mutation is, and this is a guesstimation, once things are said and done, we're estimating the possibility of maybe an 80% chance that it will not come back. And with my research on this, and what I told them is what I talked to them about as well. This type of cancer, when you're dealing with somewhere else in the country or just on average throughout the country, usually it's aggressive and it likes to reoccur on average 11 months later. 11 months is just the average. So in my plan, I'm not even thinking about, okay, well, it's cool, like, we can get through this. I have confidence that they can, hopefully clear this all up, but what's the future look like, if there is a future? So, because what realistically has happened now, sorry, this is good stuff. What's realistically happened, and again, it took me like a minute or a day or two to like really let this set in, but again, being cautiously optimistic and going with hope, what has happened is going from the studies that say in 5 years 50% of people with what I have will be dead, 50% will live, but then on top of that, having the poorly differentiated aspect brings that chance down for me. Having the Ki-67 number that I had brings that down for me. It was 50%. And having the neuroendocrine features brings that down for me. So nobody's giving me a real number, but thinking about, if it's adding 10% for each of those, it was an 80% chance-ish. Just, again, this is just my own brain math, but it would be like an 80% chance of not surviving to now a good chance of taking care of this, and the curing would be an 80% chance of it not coming back. So, great news. But I'll be honest, I'm scared. I'm scared to trust the numbers. I'm scared to trust the hope. And it's because with all of the stuff I've been through, even before I got here, I was just, the best way I could describe it was battle weary. I felt like a soldier that had just got off the battle line, gushing blood, oozing, and hoping that somebody would save me. And like I said, a lot of times, having people, promise me something and take it back. I thought we were going to MD Anderson, and they said, no, you're not. And, then saying, no, we're not, the same day that they said, yes, you are. So you can imagine all the up and down. But this seems to be, the people who've seen it and we're dealing with it, it seems to be pretty factual based on historic numbers with these doctors. So I gotta trust that. And and hey, it's like, why not? Why not let myself have that hope? I'm positive anyway, um, but it would be just a wonderful thing to kind of experience that. Sorry, my nose is dripping because it's some sloughing from when the tumor shrinks. All the stuff that was caught up in the sinuses uh, now just like depends on comes running down. And of course, like when I get emotional and crying, great, it's really gonna drip now. So I wish I would have brought a napkin down, but I did not, or tissue. But yeah, I would say I was very smart to plan all of the end of life funeral, talking to my friends in other countries, saying, we'll use part of my ashes here, meet with family member, all that kind of stuff, as a possibility, not as a guarantee, but as a possibility. But now, for the first time, I actually found myself thinking about more than 6 months later, because I'm gonna have to do scans, back and forth, but thinking that I might be able to take another trip to Europe one day. I might, I'm not imagining too far with like my kids and all that. I'm really glad I did the banking that I did, because that will enable that in the future. But I'm thinking short term possibilities, being able to live even a little bit more. So thinking about going back to work eventually, that would be lovely. And it's definitely something I intend on doing. But yeah, anyway, sorry to kind of schnoz all over it, but at the same time, I want you guys to know what's going on in my mind. I want you to know how this feels the best way I can. So, yes, we have good news, we have optimism, but again, cautiously optimistic. The thyroid nodules. So it has one on the PET scan. Then when they did the ultrasounds, it was a lot more nodules. But they biopsied them. I think they got like 6 needles worth of. By the way, they had to knock me out almost. So they had to give me like 3 times the drugs that they usually would. It was conscious sedation, but finally found a way to actually be comfortable like that. So I think that's why they were able to get so much test mass out of it. Those came back the next day. It usually takes 3 to 5 days, and showed no cancer. They lit up on the PET scan before, so we just wanted to be sure. And usually they're benign, but I did not want to spend my whole time thinking, is this going to be something else? Is this going to be an additional type that I have to as soon as I'm done fighting this? Wow, my nose is really running. I'm so sorry, guys. It's so gross. And there's no tissue inside, so good times. Anyway, so again, other great news. And they're trying to get another PET scan if insurance will okay it. They've denied it, even the peer-to-peer, but that's a whole different story. We did the CT for the chest and the head MRI, yeah, it's not showing anything metastasized, spread anywhere. It's shrunken 50%, and that is after 2 rounds of chemo, and I've got 4 more rounds after that to go. So that is where we are, and it's one of those things where, I grew up poor, and today I'm gonna be a bit poor, but I'm happy because money's not everything. Yes, it's stressful. Sorry to bring that up, but it's it is what it is. But you guys have got me so far with that, and thank you. And it's not just the GoFundMe stuff. It's being able to have people text. By the way, feel free to text me anytime. One thing I also wanted to share with anybody who has a friend or family member going through cancer. I am finding that a lot of people don't want to bug me with their problems. But I want you to be a bit cautious with doing that, because what happens, I don't think people realize it. Again, gauge it on your own family member or friend. But what I found happening was everybody didn't want to bug me. Um, they don't want to call because, maybe it's a bad day. And even when we did talk, it was about the cancer. Well, what that does, guys, is it leaves me out of life. Um, like, I still want to experience life when I can. And it puts me like on the island of cancer, which means that my whole day then is only gets to be about cancer. People remove me from real life, and all they are willing to talk about is cancer. Absolutely, please talk about it. We want to know that. Like, I definitely want to talk about cancer. I want people to be educated on what's going on, but don't be shy. If you're having like a bad day, you are allowed to have a bad day, and please don't worry about the phrase, well, it's nothing compared to what you're going through. Yes, it is. Life's us all over in different ways, and it can suck sometimes. So it's okay. Share your bad day with me, because I'm still Chris. I'm still here. I still want to like give people advice and help, because it's kind of always been my MO, the kind of person I am. So yeah, share your bad days, and I will share with you my snot, apparently. But yeah, as always, this video is getting long. But yeah, it's been great. Every single type of support I get. I've got friends, I've got family, I've got people on YouTube making comments, and it really does. It takes a village. I've got people who are coming out week by week to be with me, and just being able to know that I'm not doing something alone physically, even if there's not much to do, is a wonderful, wonderful gift. Like, it's actually really helped so much. But yeah, if you guys in the YouTube world have any questions too about like your cancers, any kind of research you're just having a hard time getting past or don't have time to do, please ask me any questions. I've got some time. I'm happy to like try to research something if you're just not a researcher and you want to know more. And it's not that I am a doctor by any means, but I'll at least give you questions to ask your doctor. Oh my goodness, this is so gross. So I'm sorry. But I said I'd show you all of it. I really should have just put that in napkin. So, well, before I snoz anymore, I will let you guys go. So, thank you for everything. I'm looking forward to getting through this as this hard time really comes up. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, thanks for just all the reach outs, and if you don't, that's okay too. Do what you need to do. But I'm still here, and I plan to be for a long time. So, all right, I love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.